everyone. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the Making Líder Moves podcast, the show that brings powerhouse Latinas together to discuss the challenges of our comunidades that we are facing and the moves they took to prioritize joy in their careers. My name is Yovana Rosales, your co-host, and I am here with our other host, Paulette Pinero.
Hey.
Paulette. All right. So today we have a special show for you. Making Líder Moves is all about breaking up with perfectionism, accepting and embracing our Latinidad, being our best selves, and a lot of learning and unlearning. In the spirit of these values, today's episode is all about getting to know us, myself as well as Paulette. As mentioned, I am Yovana Rosales. I was born in Houston, but raised in Chicago from un papá salvadoreño y una mamá ecuatoriana. I am a serial entrepreneur and business owner.
And badass.
And badass. I specialize in community building, where I help build, maintain, and retain communities online. I am also an entrepreneur consultant, as well as have a small merchandise biz. So whatever you need, I am here for you.
She does it all.
I do it all. I'm a one-stop shop.
Yes.
And without further ado, it is my pleasure and my great honor y mi bendición to present Paulette Pinero. Paulette, take it away.
Yay. So my name is Paulette Pinero. Yo soy Boricua, born and raised in Puerto Rico, and now kind of like adopted in Massachusetts. We have, si una Boricua en la luna. There's a song that we love in Puerto Rico. Y se llama Boricua en la luna. And it says, yo sería borincano aunque naciera en la luna. Well, I was born in Puerto Rico, but now I live in la luna.
I'm gonna have to YouTube this.
Yes,
song.
it makes me cry, so I can talk about it.
Okay. Isla Love.
Yes, I'm a mom of two, a high schooler, I can say it, and a fourth grader. My kids are Alex and Sophia, and I'm also a management consultant and leadership coach. And what is my why? Well, I am on a mission to get Latinas the job, business, and pay they want through transformational content, personalized coaching, and strategy consulting in order to create a world where leadership is diverse, purpose driven, and joyful. And like Yovana, I'm also an entrepreneur and I have a business called Lead Media LLC, which is a boutique management and strategy consulting firm. So now that you know us a little bit better, let's get started. Today, for our first episode, we are playing 21 questions and not the 50 Cent song. We have questions submitted by our members of our Making Líder Moves online community. Go ahead and join the community on Facebook, Making Líder Moves, and whatever questions we found on Google. We have no idea what questions we're asking each other, so here it goes. I'll ask the first question, Yovana.
I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, how personal and how deep are we getting?
However comfortable you feel. This is a great thing about not having to report to work.
Love it.
So you can go as deep as you can go.
I love it.
If you could be born again with the same knowledge you have now, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? Maybe skip all of high school.
Really? Why?
You know what? Like, it's funny because I think like people like love high school, right? Like they have all these like amazing memories. Like it's where they became themselves. And for me, I ended up going to a high school that was predominantly white and it was a Catholic all girls school. Um, so my mom, right, like my mom did it for me to like have exposure into the real world and like no, like I love her for that. It was great, but like all of these like memories of like people have like with their friendships y amistades y todo eso, yo nunca lo tuve porque because your friends are your family, at least at least like in my like that's what Latinidad is to me. And so like I hung out with my cousins in high school, like we were friends, éramos panas. So I don't like it's not that like that aha moment that everyone has in their life. So I'm like, okay, we could skip that. We have the knowledge. Like, let's just go straight to business. Let's just get it done.
Yeah, I know that Catholic school hashtag life.
Y eso que yo estaba en una escuela católica desde kindergarten.
Same
So
here.
I still remember what I wore my first day of college. Like I have it embedded in my head because that was the first time I'd never had to wear a uniform.
2 inches below the knee, girl. I know that. I went to Catholic private school my whole life, and I still to this day, Giovanna, have nightmares of me waking up late and not finding my uniform.
No. Well, I had the blessing of my dad. His job was on the way, so he would take me every morning. So, girl, I was there at like 7:15, and we wouldn't start class till like 8:05. So he used to take me, and I literally used to have a pillow and a blanket. He used to have a truck at that time, and I used to sleep in the back of the truck
Oh my
with
god,
my
that's so cute.
blanket and my pillow. And he was like, en serio, niña, te estoy llevando a la escuela. Like, yo estoy pagando migas la escuela y aquí estás durmiendo, no jodas. And I'm like, I love you too, Dad.
Thank you.
Love you. See
Yeah,
you later.
I have nightmares of not finding my uniform
Oh, no.
or that I don't know how to say it in English. Las tabletas, you know that the skirts, the fold of the skirt,
Oh, no. Mine wasn't
no,
like that.
wasn't ironed out, and I our nun, like our principal, would lose it. Like you have to be like
Oh,
on
no.
point. So I still have nightmares about my uniform.
El
Like
mío no era
waking
así tanto. Thank God. Thank
no,
God.
our nun, our principal, Sister Mildred, I love you. She's, always and forever grateful. Go Tigers. But but she had a ruler, and she'll
I know.
catch you in the hallways. You had to have your skirt 2 inches below the knee.
I know.
And if not, like she will call your parents and they will have to pick you up.
Oh, no.
I always had it 3 inches.
Por si acaso.
I era
Porque uno nunca sabe.
like yo era cuerita en otras cosas, but like not in my skirt. I did not play with that uniform.
Really? Ours wasn't that bad. They said I think it was like you can have it right above the knee, but obviously like we all used to roll up our skirts and even more when we got on the bus, right? Because I used to take the public bus. I didn't take the yellow school bus. I had to take like the actual bus. And so yeah, like I used to hijack my skirt hard. I think my mom might have caught me one time, quién sabe. Oh, we should definitely have a whole episode of just like like the Catholic school drama.
Yeah. Oh my god,
And like the
yes.
PTSD that we kind of low key have from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Okay. So my question is it's gonna be a little more seria just because I want people to understand, right, that we're entrepreneurs and we're business owners. What made you decide to become a business owner and leave corporate? Because you were in corporate for a long time.
Mhm. Yeah, 15 years I did my time in the nonprofit world for 15 years. What made me this? Well, it was a kind of like the perfect storm between burnout, um, money, and trying to do something different for my life. With burnout, it was, I thought that working in the nonprofit field, like working for mission driven or impact driven organizations, meant that I was leaving my purpose. And I loved what I worked on. I worked in human services and education for 15 years, and I love what I did. I was able to travel, launch program, build strategic plans. Like I was working policy. I was doing so much good work. But what I really wanted to do was two things, right? The first one was being able to do that with more organizations,
Mm-hmm.
and organizations that really wanted to do the work, not
Mm-hmm.
just organizations that were following the funding. I was tired of that. I was tired of
Or
that.
who say that they're down for the help but are not actually down to do the work.
We can have another.
We
You
can have a
should,
whole nother podcast about
yes,
that. Yeah.
I'll put it in the list. But the other piece of it was I wanted to do more of what excited me the most, which was the management piece of it.
Mhm.
Building teams, succession planning. I always said, like, I got a promotion and I was already looking for my replacement. I
Mhm.
was part of the diversity, equity, and inclusion committees and councils. So anything that had to do around leadership, whether it was hiring, um, mentoring, e- everything that was with a anti-racist framework, because that's the other thing. That's what excited me the most, and I wanted to do that more. And back, like, 2 years before I launched my business, I went full-time entrepreneur last year in 2020. But what I had built this business plan in 2018, and I kept like adding stuff,
Mhm.
and I had changed jobs, and I thought, I had the salary and I had the title, like,
Right.
finally got it, and I still felt like it wasn't enough. And for me, the answer was entrepreneurship, and I love it. But also, I was missing so much time with my kids
Mm.
that, my mom was a single mom. She always had 3 or 4 jobs. Um, and not only being, we didn't have, my husband and I don't have family close by. He has his sisters close by, but like it's like an hour drive.
Oh, so that's still not like down the
Mhm.
street.
Down
Yeah.
the street, like, not having family, it's just the 4 of us, very supportive friend group, but it was not having family or friends, the 1-hour commute to Boston every day. We were missing so much,
Mhm.
and I wanted to be there for my kids. So I had, like, the burnout, the guilt, and this space of and paying so much between travel and after school time.
And I think that sometimes that we don't think about that. We
Mhm.
don't think about the cost of all that, the little
Yeah.
things that add up.
And then this, like, piece of me that said, like, you can do impact driven, mission driven work for yourself, kind of like brought it together, and that's how lead media came to be. And I wish I would have done it sooner. I wish I would have stopped thinking that, like, this can happen when I retire. But here we are, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Hell yeah. Well, congratulations for you to take for taking that leap of bravery, because it's not just bravery for your family, it's bravery for yourself, because you're
Mhm.
taking a gamble on yourself. And I mean, me and you talk about entrepreneurship almost on a daily basis, even if
Mhm.
it's just through a meme or a GIF, right?
Yes, yes.
It's a hard road. Sometimes it can get lonely, but the fact that you were brave enough to redeem the joy that you had been missing in your life,
Mhm. Look at that. That's a quote
right?
right there.
Quote it. Let's make it a t-shirt. Um, like that's a lot. That's very courageous for you, and I applaud you for that, because there's still some people out here that want to take that leap, but they're just so hesitant, and it takes
Mhm.
a while to find that bravery within yourself. So,
Yeah,
congratulations to you.
awesome. Okay. So, question for you. What is the thing that most people think about you that is actually not true? Hmm.
Hmm. I think people really I always find it it's like such an enigma to me, because people are always like, "Oh, you're so chill," or "You're so like calm, cool and collective." And I'm like, "Who? Where is she?
Where?
Is mi gemela? Like where? Let me know," because I'm always on anxiety mode, minimum at a 4, right? Like I wake up already with anxiety. So the fact that people think I'm chill, calm, and collective, it's like it's still mind-boggling to me. I think it's insane. I, g- I don't know where that comes from. Like I honestly don't know. Because even the people who know, like who really, really deep down know me, at times still say that, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just had a meltdown with you, full-blown
But it's a
tears."
chill meltdown, Giovanna. What are you talking about? You're like so chill. You are chill. That's the thing.
That's
Yeah.
you too. See, like you're one of the like you're one of these people that I'm that's like testifying that I'm chill. And I'm like, but the anxiety, girl.
Okay.
Yes, that's mine for sure. Okay, my question for you. What is your biggest deal breaker in a relationship?
Ooh. Any type of relationship?
You know what? Let's narrow it down because we were just talking about friendship, you and I earlier. Let's talk about
Mhm.
what's the breaking point for you in a friendship?
The breaking point for me is not having not having the conversations where we feel uncomfortable, because that's that's why we're friends, right? It's one thing to say, I'm angry at you, I need some time, or I need space, or I'm not ready to talk about it, and we can keep moving.
Mhm.
I'm I'm very ride or die with my friendships, because not everyone to me is a friend. Somos
Mhm.
conocido, but like for me to call you a friend, it's a very different level for me, because you mentioned before, like it's part of my familia. So, not having the conversation if you are angry or upset, the elephant in the room, like I will always try to, like, let's talk about it. But if you want to sweep it under the rug and then be passive aggressive with me, or fully ghost me, like that to me is a deal breaker.
Mhm.
And we got to either pause or stop the friendship. Like, you got demoted. I have a little notebook. No, no, no. But like it means that I'm also like need to step back until you're ready, if you're ever ready to have the conversation. So it's, yeah. Because I'm very very passionate about my relationships. Um I'm loving, like that's part of my love language, not just giving, but um quality time, even
Mhm.
if it's virtual text messages or whatever. So yeah, that's the deal breaker for me.
I mean, it's a good deal breaker. And I think that is hard. And I think it's hard, right? Like as we grow up and kind of evolve, some of our friends kind of just get stuck in that mode, right? Where
Mhm.
they are passive aggressive or they don't want to talk about it. And it's just like, but I'm doing the work. Like I'm the one who's going like I'm going to therapy. Like I'm the one who does the worksheet. So like let me help us evolve and grow
Yes.
in this friendship. I get it. It can be frustrating
Mhm.
at times for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm not passive aggressive. I am. I'm working on it through therapy. But like at least let's have the conversation. Like, what did I do, if I did anything, so I can make it up to you, because I deeply love and respect and honor my friendships.
Love it.
Let me say that just in case there are some ex friends that are like, she's a bitch too.
And
Like, owning
you
it.
gotta be okay with that. You have to be
Yeah.
okay with not everyone liking you, you know?
Yeah.
And that's hard too. Like that's part of growing up and just accepting that that's cool too.
Yeah. I very wisely said to one of my former staff members that was talking shit about me, even though I was giving her every resource and support that I give. I said, I'm okay with being the villain in your story.
Girl, that's growth on a whole nother level. I don't know if I'm there yet.
And she looked at me, was like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "I'm fine with it, but I'm here to support you, but
Mhm.
also to have this work happen. So I'm fine being the villain in your story." And it was helpful for the conversation and for our work relationship, and it kind of like turned it around.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm I'm fine with the villain in someone else's
Look at
story.
you.
I
I
I think I
that's
learned that from the housewives. So it's not Paulette deep thoughts. I learn 80% of what I do in my life from housewives. So
very resourceful. I
yes.
love that you put that out there. Because if we're not learning from housewives, who are we learning from?
from Jocelyn Hernandez Cabaret.
That is my guilty pleasure. So apparently now we're just sharing guilty pleasures. Yes, Jocelyn's Cabaret is definitely mine. So is Love After Lockup and Love and Hip Hop. Those are my junk TV shows. It's okay. I embrace it.
So, question for you, Giovanna.
Let's
You
hear it.
need to spend $500 in 8 hours. What do you do?
Are we like talking about fun money, or are we talking about like, oh, I'm gonna like pay off my like some of my student loan, or like is this like fun money?
No, you decide. It's your $500.
Okay, well, if we're being responsible, I'm gonna go. Actually, I would invest that money. So I do have some investments in cryptocurrency. I would probably add a little more there. If we're talking about fun money, I'm gonna go ahead and get my nails did because I love having my nails done, getting a massage, but like a really, really like the ones with hot stones, because you know how that's like a $20 upgrade.
Yes,
Like I'm gonna go ahead
yes.
and pay for that upgrade.
Hmm.
And then treat myself to like some bomb ass vegan dinner with some
Okay.
vegan wine.
I love it. Okay, okay. No Bad Bunny tickets? Because, like, they're
You
selling for
have to give
expensive.
your hígado away for that right now.
Yes, right now,
Like
yes.
I think minimum $2,000. I think
Hmm.
like no
I
greasy.
did the 2 hour wait time to get those tickets and sold out. Sold out in 30 minutes, man. Damn, Bad Bunny.
Wait. How are you waiting for these tickets? I don't know. I didn't even try, girl. I wasn't even pretending.
Because you have to enter like a wait list when they open the like you have to go on a wait list and then another wait list to be able to buy them.
Is this all through like Ticketmaster?
Well, uno de Puerto Rico, but
Oh,
like
no, de Puerto
yeah.
Rico. Huh?
I never got in. I tried 2 days. Me and my friends, we were like all three of us doing it at the same time.
No kidding.
Conejo, hey, hey.
Tu tía te llama. Paulette
Sí,
calls herself tu
sí,
tía. Tu tía te
tu
llama.
tía te llama. Tu tía needs to perrear zafaera.
You wild. You are just wild. Okay,
Okay.
my question to you is if you could be any animal, whether extinct or not, what would you be
Um,
and why?
I would, you know, let me see. I want to think about something like really deep, but I'll probably be like a raccoon. No, no, no.
We don't have time for that right now.
No, I would probably be a butterfly. I want to remind everyone and let everyone know that in high school, I won the science fair, but for my research on the monarch butterfly,
Okay.
I even, when like island wide, y le gané a mi esposo. Oíste, want to remind everyone that I won. He didn't get first place. I did. But I love butterflies. I love monarch butterflies.
Okay.
I can talk about monarch butterflies and their um, patterns of immigration uh, all day. So I would probably be a monarch butterfly, and I love them. They're beautiful. I love the transformation. I love their life cycle, and how they travel all over America. So that's what I would choose.
So I'm just going to add a bonus question here.
Mm,
Would you get inked on yourself a monarch butterfly if
I
you
have,
don't?
I have,
And there we go.
yeah,
And it's a wrap for me.
yeah. I have a music note. Oh my god, I did this when I started college. Una clave de sol, a music note with monarch wings on my back.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, used to play the violin.
Okay, that can be another bonus question later on down the show.
Yes.
I'm learning so much of you, and I'm like,
Yeah,
and yet we talk every day, and I didn't
I
know that.
know.
I had no idea you were inked. This is great. I love it.
Yes. So, would you be useful in a zombie apocalypse, and what can you bring to the table?
Oh my God. Okay. So we actually talk about this with my mom, right? Because my mom's a big fan of The Walking Dead. Like she's been on it since the jump. And she
She
always,
needs to meet my husband because we've even gone to like the Walking Dead con,
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he has like the signed comic books.
No
Uy, ¿cómo es
kidding.
que se llama el que tenía la barba roja?
Ay, mija,
Yeah,
yo no
well,
veo ese
whatever.
programa.
He
Yeah.
like he has photos and everything, so
My
he
mom
loves
would
them.
probably appreciate them 1000. I'm just like, cute story.
Yeah, I don't watch it either. It's
Yeah,
too
I don't watch
scary.
it. So she's always like, if the day ever comes, you guys are going to go without me and I'm going to take a death pill and just that's what she says. And I'm like, Mom, you haven't even tried. She's like, es que yo no hago ejercicio. Ya sabes que yo soy alérgica al
Are
agua.
we
And I'm
the
like, you're
same
first of all, you're not
person?
allergic to water. You just don't drink enough. Okay. That's why you get headaches. Like again, the mom episode, I can't wait for it because I feel like we should actually have an episode about the ridiculousness of what mothers say, because she's a hot mess, I feel sometimes. So yeah, she was like, yo no tomo suficiente agua, ya sabes que me mareo, so I would just take a pastilla. And I'm like, no, mom, you have to at least try. So I would try to survive in a zombie apocalypse. I most likely wouldn't get far. How would I contribute? I'd probably contribute as a sacrifice so my dad can make it.
Oh my god, look at you. Oh god, I
I'd
am
be
your
like,
mom.
I have more meat than my dad, so like I'm buying you more time, puppy. Like, get it in, get that sprint in. Well, my dad,
Samuelito, these thighs got
that's what
beat.
I'm saying. Well, my dad, like, he's a runner. Like, he's run like I think he's already run 3 or 4 half marathons
Oh
before.
my
I've
god.
only done one. I almost died. Like, that's a whole nother story. So I'm just like, again, I'm the plumper one. So I'm gonna buy you time, sprint that shit.
I love it. Okay, cool. What's
Yeah,
your
mom.
question?
Mom apparently is just she's calling it quits.
Me too. Me too. I'm with your mom. I'm doing the red pill. I don't know. Like I can't. Because the thing is that I would either go from like dying in the first hour to maybe becoming evil and like killing everyone in my path. So I think
I mean,
I'll
I can see that. I mean, that's a very
it's a
normal human.
Slytherin in me. Slytherin power.
Well, I was
Go
gonna say that's
Slytherin.
very like that's a very human response. Like we kind of like low key, we saw it not low key, high key. We saw it happen during COVID. Like there was a toilet paper shortage for how many months because people were just like ravishing and grabbing as much
Mhm.
as they could. So yeah, it's fine. I get it. I get it. Okay, my turn. If you could choose only one, would you choose money or free time?
Oh, okay. I could choose one. Money or free time? Um, I'll choose money.
Yeah,
I
because
would
with money
choose
you can buy
money.
free time,
Yeah,
girl.
exactly. Oh, so
Like
there was a wrong answer. Okay.
I'm like, there's no question here.
Yeah, I think money, it's also because it's not just about me. Like I will be able to like put invest more money in my kids' 529 plan for their college savings account, do investments, like take my um Roth IRA and my traditional IRA to the max. Go on vacation. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I would,
you can hire help to like wash
yeah.
your dishes, you can hire a personal assistant, now you can go
Yeah.
on vacation. Perfect.
Yeah. And it's something that would impact everyone with time. I just like take time right now if I need to. Like this morning, I took a power nap after I dropped the kids at school.
I love it.
Yeah. So, money.
Hashtag self-care. Love it.
Hmm. Oh. So, my question is something similar. Would you rather be rich or famous? Hmm.
Oh, rich girl. No question.
Okay.
No questions asked. Because same thing, right? Like we can do investments, like in a lot of different stuff, right? Like cryptocurrency, Roth IRAs, etc. But also with money, you can actually donate to causes the way you need to donate. So like when you were
Mhm.
talking about like you stayed a nonprofit, for a while, and you at a point in your time in your career you just felt that it was fulfilling, but at one point you were just like, it's not fulfilling anymore.
Mhm.
But with money, and like a shout out to Rachel Rogers from
Whoop, whoop.
Everyone Should Be a Millionaire, or Every Woman Should Be a Millionaire. She talks about the more money you have, the more you're able to actually help your community the way you want to, right? And like we see this with Rihanna and Beyonce all the time. Like they're out here being, or for sure Beyonce's a billionaire now, and she's able to just like drop 5 million and help out her community. And that's so much more impactful than like going and serving food on Thanksgiving at a
Mhm.
homeless church. Like she talks about that. And when you put it in that perspective, you're like, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Like it makes a lot more sense to help build my community, make sure that they get the resources and access to resources to help them thrive, rather than me sacrifice one day.
Mhm. Yeah. Systemic change, girl.
Yes, girl. I love it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is also a fun question. While you're walking, do you listen to music or do you listen to podcasts?
Hmm. It depends. It depends on what time. If I go for a walk in the morning, I'm usually doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's more about like get those steps in and move the nalgas. But if I do it at the end of the day or later in the day, I do music because it's like about disconnecting and not
I
having
agree.
to think about it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Very relatable content. Very relatable. Yeah. Yeah. But
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes at 6 a.m., because like I'm going to the gym now
Mhm.
at like 7 a.m. and I'll just put on it alpha, honestly, because I'm like, it's so
Fire,
early in the
fire.
morning.
Get your blood pumping. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
You have to, or like just get the drive going, because like there's a lot of traffic at 6 a.m. I'm like, oh, people have to go to work. People don't get to work remotely.
What? Where are you going? Where's everyone going?
That's me all the time. Why is there a line? Why is no one sleeping? Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Question.
Go for it.
What is that one thing people misjudge about you?
Misjudge. Um, this kind of goes back to like the cool common collective question, but I'm thinking, hmm, I'm not sure. I think people are always just like, and it might just be my nature, and I don't know if this is misjudging, but people are always like, "Oh, she's just so friendly," and I'm like, "Am I though?" Because I feel like I'm very reserved. Like I feel like I'm very like I'll like if you're my friend, I'll let you in. Like way too much like blackmail stuff. But I don't know if that's like a bad misjudgment. I just it's funny to me that people think that I'm like super friendly, and I'm like, bro, I was being really reserved, or like I was just being reserved. So
Mm,
that's
okay.
interesting.
Are you an introvert or extrovert? That's bonus question.
I'm an introvert at heart, but I'm an extrovert with the ones that I trust.
Okay. Okay.
And I
Oh.
think, and I think, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm misjudged as being an extrovert 24/7, but that's because I used to be in events. I've been
Mhm.
in event marketing for over 10 years, and I still do events now. I just do them online. So I think because I'm used to being on a stage, I know how to present, right? Or etc. Or can handle that I think people just automatically think that I'm an extrovert, and it's just like, no, 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 that like that's camera on. I'm not
Mhm.
like that 24/7. Like that's just way too much energy to be on 24/7.
Mm. Are we both INFJs?
What is that?
Like the Meyer is it Myers Briggs?
Explícamelo, no sé.
Oh my God. Personality test, you need to do it. I'll send you the link.
Oh, I think I did do it. I think you had me do it one time.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Yeah.
could we probably could be. We probably could be. And I think
Mhm.
it's one of those things that it's not that I'm not even upset about, like, it's not something that I have to retrain myself. It's just, right, it's just when people like, and when you are like just downtime, people are like, "What's wrong? Why are you sad?" And you're like, what are you talking about? I'm
It's
watching my show.
normal.
This is actually me, dude. Like,
Yeah.
like, I'm actually abuelita sad is hard. Like, you don't see that though.
Yeah. Okay. Huh.
Awesome.
Makes sense. Okay.
So the next question is, where do you see your life headed in 5 years?
Ooh. Let me see.
Well, a
Um,
big birthday bash for sure.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We'll do that. I never celebrate my birthday. This was the first year that I celebrated my birthday. Because I just cry on my birthday. But like maybe we should bring my therapist to one episode. But I see myself um and on a personal level um probably like living part-time here in Massachusetts and part-time in Puerto Rico. I see myself managing different properties. We want to buy some properties in Puerto Rico, not just for us to have them there, but to, building generational wealth. Woo!
Passive income. I'm all about it.
Yeah. And then writing. I love coaching. I love doing consulting, but I want to do more writing. So hopefully writing more than what I'm writing now, from blog posts to
You're an
like
amazing writer. I can't wait for it.
to books. So that's where
And
I
yeah,
see.
and speaking of, you just finished being part of a book. So here we
Yes,
go. Here we go.
yes.
This is
Like,
this is the beginning. Yes, we are expecting minimum a trilogy in 5 years.
well, damn. Okay, okay.
No pressure, but a
No
trilogy.
pressure, no pressure. Damn. Okay.
No, but you started off great, right? Like,
I did a chapter.
you've been part of two books already. So
Yeah,
this is phenomenal.
I
You're on
wrote
your way.
chapters. So, now it's now it's about writing the whole thing.
There you go. That's all. And you put it out here in public, so we will be holding you accountable.
Oh my god. Okay. Um, weird question. Do you shower at night or in the morning? And I'm gonna be judging you.
You I guess it just depends. Like, if I go work out in the morning, then I take a shower in the morning. And then if we have to work out, like, was it yesterday or the day before, because of our schedules, because I go work out with a friend of mine, we both had a gap between 2 and 4. So we literally went to go work out, and then I hopped in the shower and then got on a meeting at 4. And then, but I think in the winter time, it's usually more towards the night. But yeah, now that we're working out early in the morning, it's probably just gonna switch over to the mornings.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, it's all about that sweat glisten. Like, when are we glistening with sweat, and when are we gonna take it off?
I love it.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? And it's
Oh.
up to you. You can talk professionally or personally.
Mm, okay. If I could change one thing about yourself, you know what? I want to say nothing, but that's a lie. So I would say just just being open to try a lot of small things. I
Okay.
get to do that on my business, but I wanted, you know, serial entrepreneur and like try different things without being scared. I'm fine with the failure, but I have so many ideas that I wish that I did, and I just like want to do it. So
Hmm.
right now, like, it's not even the perfectionism. It's like I get in my head. So that's I wish I could, change that. I'm working on it, but that's like very embedded with my personality. So I wish I could like step into those brave spaces more.
Yeah. But you're doing it, and it's like an everyday work in progress. It's not
Mhm.
like you're not gonna magically get there overnight or even within a few months. It's just it's continually doing the work. And that's even in like small things within
Mhm.
even your household, right? Like you're just
Yeah.
like, I know I can do it this way, but it's cool. Like I'm just gonna slide.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Yes. The table can be moved there. Oh no. Moving the table, then we need to move the mirror and
I'm telling you, you and my mom would be best friends because this whole like let's structure, let's organize, that's all you two. I swear to God. I can't wait for the two of you to meet.
Yes.
Honestly,
I need to go to Chicago
you
before the
really
winter.
do.
Oh, question. If you had to rename yourself, what name would you choose?
You know what? And I'm not like even trying to sound like fake, but I love my name. So where my name came from, my mom actually wanted to call me Yovani, and my dad was like, we can't call her Yovani. Like that's a boy's name. And she was like, oh, I was not aware. So then she's like, but I really like that name. And then that's when my dad actually came up with Yovana. He was like, why don't we just call her Yovana? And then she was like, oh, yeah, I love that name. And then he came up with my middle name, which is Roxana. And that's how it's spelled.
Oh.
And so I always said, if I were to ever have children, I would have my daughter be named Roxana because it's kind of like Yovana. Like when I was growing up, and in Ecuador, everything's made small. So my name was Jovanita for the longest time.
Mhm.
Um, to the point where actually my nieces and nephews call me Jovanita, and I'm like, no, like, please don't.
Yo anota now.
And so like it's cute, right? It's super cariñoso. And then as I was getting older, or when my mom was super pissed, and for me to know it, she would call me Giovanna. So I was like, ugh. And then like it sounds like professional, like it doesn't sound like. So we went from Ita to growing up, and I feel like Roxana, it's the same thing. Like I would be able to call her like Roxy when she, or like even myself, if I were to change my first name to be my middle name, it would be Roxy while I was growing up. Same thing for my daughter, and then Roxana when it was time for her to like be an adult or start adulting. I like love my full name. If I had to change it, I would just change it to my middle name, TBH.
I love that, Roxana. Maybe if you were a stripper, you would be Roxy.
Maybe. I like that. I like that.
She'll all have our stripper names. We don't know. Know what's
I'm
gonna
tr- I'm
happen.
like, could it be my stripper name? Should I audition for Jocelyn's Cabaret? I got the name. I got the channel of the show. Like
Love it. Love it.
I'm
We
going
got
to
it.
the gym. I'm building resistance.
Hey, anything can happen.
Anything can
Serial
happen.
entrepreneurship. So different sources of
I
income.
asked you where you're going to be in 5 years. I might be at a pool in 5 years.
You know, you got to do what you got to do, man. Whatever
Uno
makes you
nunca
happy.
sabe.
Uno nunca sabe. Funny story. I was going to be called Penelope,
Okay.
and my dad said we can't call her that because if not, people are going to call her Pene.
Shout out to dads, by the way, for like saving our lives.
Saving. Gracias.
We love them.
Gracias, papi. That was his legacy, man, before he died. He not calling
Yeah.
me Pene.
Shout
Yep.
out to them. I believe
Saved
no, like that's what
saved
came
me a lot
out.
of embarrassment growing up.
He really did. He
Mhm.
really did. Plus, you don't look like a Penelope though.
Mhm. I don't look like a pene. No. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Right? I don't look like a Penelope.
I don't
I'm
think
always
so.
like that.
I don't think you look like a Penelope. I know. Okay. Last question for me is if you were to die today, God forbid, how would you want to be remembered?
Um, there's there's many things about me, many facets, but The most important job that I have is being a mom. Um, and you know, I want to be remembered as Alexandra and Sophia's mom. Like, I was the best mom that I could be. I know, don't roll your eyes, listeners. Don't say I know there's many other things that are important, and motherhood does not define us as women, but I had a really rough childhood and I've been very intentional and worked really hard and paid for a lot of therapy to be the mom that I am today and to break even generational patterns around being Puerto Riqueña, being a woman, being a mom. So that's the most important job that I have. So I want to be remembered as Alexandra and Sophia's mom.
I love that.
Mm. Mm. Don't make me cry, girl. Okay.
Not on the
Let's
first episode.
no, no. Oh, I'll cry in all of them. Uh, so, we've been talking about parents. What is the worst lie you've ever told your parents? Hot seat. Tell us. We'll have it on video.
Though I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I feel like my parents, they like, and I feel like all parents have this, right? That like they have the radar. Like they already know before you know that you're gonna spill out the wrong tea. Like they're just waiting to see how
Yeah.
extreme you're gonna make this story. So I remember one time I didn't come home, right? And like I didn't come home, I think it was until like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
And
shit.
yeah, like 8 or 7, something like that. And I was like, how am I gonna explain this to my parents? How? And so like I couldn't even. And so I went to sleep. I supposedly went to sleep, but like I could only sleep for like 2 hours. And like I was tossing turning, then I woke up and then I like went downstairs to go see my parents. And then it wasn't even like my dad has like always believed in me so much. Again, like shout out to fathers, because like he didn't even like he just wanted to make sure that I had gotten home safe, and it was what it was. But obviously my mom was on a whole different page, and she's like, "Me vas a decir qué pasó, no?" And I was just like, see, what had happened was there was an art show, and it was true. Like Chicago used to have like these huge art shows that used to be like blocks, and they used to run them, if I'm not mistaken, to either midnight or like 1 a.m. I can't remember. So I had gone to that, and with at that time it was my boyfriend, and I like ended up sleeping at his house, and like you would swear that like something had happened. Like I put this on my life, nothing had happened. We just literally fell asleep and like forgot to put on the alarm. And so I was like, see, what had
La
happened was
pela.
I wish I had came home like late slash early, like if something were to have happened, and it didn't. And so I was just like, see, what happened was we went to the art fair, and we were sitting waiting for the artists to come out. And since we were just sitting on the grass, we ended up knocking out. And we knocked out on the grass, and then we woke up at 7, and then that's when I came home.
That's
And
even
my
more
mom just looked
scary,
at me.
Giovanna. Giovanna, that's like telling your mom you slept in the street. That's worse. Oh my God. Ay, yo me está dando calor because I feel like my kids are gonna do this. Ay,
So then
ay,
I was just like, yeah. And like I can't remember if his sister did go with us or didn't, but I was like, and his sister was with us. Like, if you want to call her, call her. But obviously, like, she was mi pana. We're still panas. Like, she was going to have my back. And I was just like, but I swear, like, nothing happened. Like, I promise you, nothing had happened. And my mom looked at me. She looked at my dad, and she just like was like, vete a dormir. Tienes sueño. And I was like, okay, good night. What?
my God. I'm already like getting hives because I'm thinking of all the things that I did as a teenager and now having a teenager in high school. No, I can't think about it. No, let's go. Let's go to our community question.
I like basically opened up a Pandora's box, and
Yes.
like you're gonna have to call your therapist right now and be like, I need a therapy session stat.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me check. Let me check where he's really at. No.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like our parents, right back then, didn't have the technology that they have now, where they
Mhm.
could like track us or do this or do that. Because she would have been like, "Crees que soy boba?" Like,
I
I
know
know
where
you
you
ran this.
were.
Like, intense, girl,
That's so
intense.
scary.
It is scary.
You told
Okay,
your mom you slept in the street. You thought that was a better lie? Yovana, what are you doing?
I don't even. You know what's funny? Like she didn't even bother going there because she was just like, I can't even handle this lie. Like just go to get out of my
My
face. Go to
face.
bed.
Yes. Get out of my face. Lárgate.
But my mom would never say something like that. So that's why she was like, "Estás cansada? Vete a dormir." Like, okay,
Bye,
thank
mommy.
you. Good night.
Oh
So
my
we're done with the fun questions. Now it's the next question. Is where can we find you? Where can we get more info on you?
So you can find me everywhere on all your social media platforms. You
I know,
can
right?
um you can find more information about my business Lead Media on my website, theleadmedia.com. And you can find me on Instagram, Paulette Pinero. It doesn't have an ñ, Paulette Pinero, and also on LinkedIn with my name, Paulette Pinero. How about you, Joanna?
I love it. So me and Paulette both already put our IG handles on. So you can find me on IG. That's where I'm most consistently at Yovana_Rosales. You can also find me on LinkedIn with my name, Yovana Rosales, and also on my brand new fabulous website.
Woo-woo.
Woo-woo. Girl, building a website is a whole nother ball game. But you can find me at YovanaRosales.com.
Awesome. So before we wrap up our first episode, members from our Making Leader Moves community sent us questions.
Okay.
And the first question is for you, Giovanna.
Oh, okay.
Ali asks, how do you build trust in a community?
That's a great question. I think the reason why I'm a phenomenal community builder and leader is because I'm very transparent and I'm very vulnerable. Community is a two-way street. It's where we give and receive. And a lot of times our community members are asking me questions. And just because I'm an expert doesn't mean that I know everything, right? It's just like scientists, like they don't stop discovering things or researching. So there are times that I get asked questions and I'll just be very honest and I'm like, you know what? Like great question. I'm not sure about this. Let me go ahead and get back to you. Let me do some research. I'll get back to you within 48 hours. And just being vulnerable and being honest, letting them know like, hey, I don't know this, but I am willing and able to grow and do the work for my community, I think is what makes a community leader a great community leader. And I think also for me personally is it for me community building is culture. Like in my family it took a village to raise me and my brother, right? It wasn't just me and my mom. Like my primos lived down the street and they still do. Like my nieces and nephews live 4 blocks down the street. We live on the same street just 4 blocks down. So it takes a village. And I think knowing that and growing up with that and already having that nurture and nature, if you will, because for me, it's not nature versus nurture. I think it took both of them.
Both.
I think that's also what makes me a great community leader because by nature, I know what it takes to quote unquote run a household. But in order for you to run a house efficiently, that takes nurturing.
Mm, I love that. That's awesome.
Okay, let's see. What do we have for you? Okay, Paulette. The question is, what is your key to consistency?
My key to consistency is planning things ahead. Um, so that's number one. Finding the planner or the system that works for you, whether that's online, Google Calendar, an agenda, printed, post-it notes. Having a system that not only allows you to organize yourself, but that you're able to plan things in advance, because consistency to me is not just about doing the same thing or having a plan for everything. It's also, you can be consistent when you're able to disconnect to do the other things that you love. And
Very true.
planning gives me that. Before I wrap up my week every Friday, I take 30 minutes to create my to do list for the next week.
Oh, I love that.
So I am able to disconnect once I'm done. I'm not going back and forth, going back to my email, going back to things. Consistency requires planning so you are able to not feel burned out or not feel overwhelmed to do the work. And it allows you to be creative. I make sure that I block creative space where I
Mhm.
can bounce ideas with myself. Or like I use my sliding door with dry erase markers
Right.
and write there and then
Ooh,
wipe it off. I do a lot of my programs and planning and even strategic plans on these doors.
I love that.
Yes, with dry erase markers. Um, So, if you want to be consistent, whether it's with social media content or how you manage staff or meetings or things at home, I make sure that, my husband and I meet every Sunday and go over our calendars and our budgets. And I'm really good at making sure that I'm prepared for that. And I'm consistent because I plan it ahead. My husband's still working on it.
Some of
But
us need more help and push than others.
I bring that strength to our family. He brings many other strengths. Uh, but that's what keep helps me keep it consistent. And we work together. And if I don't do something, it's because I didn't plan it. I
Mhm.
wasn't intentional about that consistency. I wasn't intentional because we tend to think of the final goal. So like
Yes.
I want to post on social media 3 times a week. I'm going to do my content. But like we don't plan the time to be creative. Like what are the things that you need to do to be able to reach that goal, which is time to be creative. Do I want to start with the image or the copy? Do I want to check like what are the events or like what are the holidays that we're celebrating this month? What are the other factors that I need to consider? What goes in the social media or the group or
Yeah.
the podcast now. So yeah, good planning and then trying different things to find out what planning systems or tools work for you and then sticking to it.
You're actually the second person within the past 2 weeks who have talked about dry erase board. I went on a actual cafecito networking not too like 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, and he told me that he actually keeps a dry erase board in the bathroom because, and this is like true, like this is actual stats that when you're in the shower because you're so relaxed, that's when your most genius ideas come through.
Mhm.
Or like as you're stepping out of the shower is when you like your most creative ideas come through. So he keeps a dry erase board so that way, like when he's in the shower and like all this is coming to his head, he literally gets out of the shower, wraps the towel, and just starts going at it on the dry erase board. And I was like, borderline genius.
Yes.
And then you told me right now about your erase markers, and I'm like, okay, I FOMO now for sure. I need to go to Five Below and go get me a dry erase board.
That Five Below life. I love Five
Yeah.
Below.
Well, we're getting some stuff for camping, like flashlights, batteries,
Mhm.
and everything at Five Below this week or tomorrow. So I'm just gonna get my dry erase board and call it a day.
I do voice notes on my phone in the when I'm taking a shower.
Ooh, that's
Like,
actually cool.
vomit my ideas. Yeah, I don't know about you, but like I get very creative when I'm taking a shower. Just I don't know if it's like
You're a
a
very creative.
localito that's like hanging in the shower head,
Yeah. Oh, I
like the
love eucalyptus
fumes.
and lavender. Yes, hanging
But
from the
yeah.
shower. It's my favorite.
Hmm.
That's like my splurge of self-care to myself. every week.
Está listo.
Yeah, buying eucalipto and lavender and just have it hanging. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that I'm not as I like I know I'm not I can be creative in certain aspects, but like creativeness is not my forte when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it's like it's funny that you mentioned that and the person that I had networked is also a creative. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe I should try this and let's see where
Yes.
this creative boat goes.
Cool.
I love it.
Well, Ali and Laura, thank you for sending us your questions. We are wrapping up our show today. We have an amazing, amazing season where we'll talk with some of our favorite Latina podcasters,
Exactly.
some of our favorite líderes and jefas, um, folks that we love, that we work with, getting to know new people. We're going to talk about motherhood and perfectionism and Latina Equal Pay Day and mental health, money. Season one is going to be amazing. So
Ready
get,
for it.
yes, you'll get to know us a bit more. And please don't forget to leave a review. 5 estrellitas, por favor. 5 stars. And join the online community Making Leader Moves on Facebook. If you have a question for the show, send us your questions to makingleadermoves@gmail.com. Thanks again for joining us today and see you next week.
Ciao,
Cuídense.
everyone. Thanks for spending your time with us.